And we'll see if anyone else logs on. Most importantly, Stacy. Okay. So we all know healthy steps to nutrition. We've been talking about this from the get-go. Something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. So that's what we're doing with you, is trying to build easy habits that aren't so complicated. Looks like someone else is trying to log on. So let's talk about, all right, about how many of us eat due to boredom and stress. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing it. Exactly, right? All of us do it. It's just like a coping. Hey, Stacey, it's a coping mechanism. Maybe it's something that was taught to us when we were kids, that when you're stressed out, you go to eat something. Maybe your brain is like, I need a break from work. So that break entails getting a snack. Or maybe it's that you're upset about something, you don't even know you're upset. Like, there's just countless reasons why we'll go for food, just because it is a coping mechanism. And a lot of us sometimes don't know how to deal with our stress. So in order to deal with our stress, we just deal with it by eating. So some positive outcomes you can see from not eating from boredom or stress is decreased bloating, stabilize blood sugar so you don't crash every few hours. I don't know if you guys are like that. I was definitely like that when I was teaching. I'd be like at a really good high, and then 2 hours later I would crash so hard. Or if you hit that 3 p.m. crash, I don't know if you feel that. Stacey and I were just talking about that. But if you stabilize your blood sugar, it increases your energy levels, improves brain and blood vessel health, and can even reduce your risk of nerve and kidney damage. So it'll help decrease overall calories if you're not doing boredom eating, increase your confidence and your self-control and being able to say, no, I'm not going to eat this food. I am above this. I don't need it. It's just kind of like gives you this empowering feeling of like, I can say no to this and I'm strong enough to say no. I have the willpower. And you can even save money on groceries. All right. So huge win on that. So we're going to discuss 5 strategies that are going to help you to deal with this stress eating. Okay. Stacey, you just sitting in on this, or you want to join? You'll just join whenever. Stacey.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah. Okay. Just
I'll join anytime you want. I'm a
pop
good
in whenever
listener.
you need to. All right. So if you did download that workbook little page, this is number 1, which is fix your mindset. So if you want to write that down, you can. So first off, your mindset, what you need to think about when you are bored is, why are you classifying this as bored? Are you bored while exercising? Are you bored because it's a 2:00 meeting and you don't want to be in it? Why are you classifying whatever you're bored about as boring? I know it seems silly, but just like how you think about a task is how you are going to approach that task. So if you say to yourself, this is boring, it's just going to make you feel annoyed. If you say this is awful, it's going to make you feel frustrated. This is unnecessary. I don't need to be in this meeting. My boss is just talking just to talk. All of these mindset thoughts that you have about what you're doing is just going to make it even worse. And you're going to just start to feel bad for yourself and all of this. It just starts to fall into getting more and more upset and frustrated. So we kind of are tying emotion then into going and grabbing food. And a lot of times we get positive emotion from food, right? Like, we're in a bad mood. Let me grab that Hershey bar and I'm going to feel good. It's going to make me feel good. And you know what it does for like what? 3 minutes. And then after, you're like, shoot, I shouldn't have done that. I'm mad that I did that. I should have been stronger. I should have just said no to it. So that like falling into suit of like grabbing that food, if you've done this before, it doesn't always provide that permanent happiness that you're seeking. So when you are, when do you end up eating? So You do end up eating when you weren't hungry. Yeah, exactly. So the feeling doesn't always last. Yeah, you have this feeling of like, oh, I'm upset. Why can't I have more self-control? And so have any of you guys done this before? Like, do you have a thought after you eat something bad that you're like, why did I do that? Like, I'm mad at myself about it. Not, yeah, I was talking with some of my nutrition clients last week about this. So I know for myself, and Stacey and I were just talking about this, that I, at this point, can say no to food because I know that the feeling that I'm going to get after I eat it is so bad that beforehand I can say no to it. Do you guys feel like you're ever in that position to be able to do that? Or it's like something it's like still maybe having to work on?
Well, as I told you, I feel it and I just have to cope because it happens in the evening. I just go upstairs and put myself to bed and
Yeah.
it's my control mechanism because I know I won't get out of bed to go down and eat anything.
Exactly, which is a great idea. So eventually our goal is for you to not have to leave the room away from the kitchen. And so, yeah, so you can just say no. So I have literally felt sick to my stomach so many times and been so mad about what I've eaten that it really has empowered me to be like, I know I'm going to hate myself so much after this, not hate, but dislike myself so much after eating this that it helps me to say the big NO before.
I'm going to interrupt you really quick.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever put something in their mouth and then immediately said, why am I doing this? And spit it out? I know that's really gross, but seriously, like it's not, you don't have to swallow it if you're realizing it at the time. And like, that's all right, there it goes. I do it. It's like, it's not meant to be, but it's like all of a sudden it's like, wait, do I really want this? And there's a garbage can. I can spit it out. Nobody's around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you now know my golden secret. Like, I don't want that after feeling. And I recognized it a little late because it got into my mouth, but it's not too late to get rid of it. So that's
Sam, if Sam doesn't mind me sharing this, Sam has driven to a restaurant, fast food restaurant, right? And
Halfway.
what do you do?
Yeah, I got like halfway and then like I don't know, regretted it or thought I was gonna regret it, so just turned around and like messaged Courtney like, oh yeah, I was about to go to Cane's and just turned around. So and I felt so much better like not going. Yeah.
Yeah, felt better not going, but got in the car, was going. And it's that thought, like you have to have that thought as you're walking to the kitchen, as you're walking into your pantry, as you're putting your hand into the food. All of that is thoughts where you're just like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. Okay, maybe I won't do it. So to kind of wrap it back around, to fix that mindset, and while you're doing a task that you don't want to be doing, trying to change your mindset and say things like, I can't wait to finish this task so I can really do what I want to do. Or how can I make this task more enjoyable? Everyone has to do things that they don't want to do. This is just one of those ones for me. And it turns into a mind shift. Like I've told you in the past, I wish that it could just be a pill, but this is a lifestyle, lifelong mental change that you have to do in order to stop going to food for dealing with stress. All right.
Has
Okay.
anybody done a closet clean out?
Yes.
Good.
Is anything crept back in after 4 weeks?
Yes.
What has crept back in?
Dove chocolate, and I get to have one a day.
That's not too bad, Cheryl.
It just started. I just did it yesterday because it just like, I don't know if it's like a tranquilizer at night. And if I can just, after I'm done with all my chores and I sit down, if I could just have that one Dove, it like does something. So
That's all right.
I don't think it's bad.
I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, that's not a terrible
As
thing.
long
to
as it
creep back
stays
in.
at 1 and it doesn't creep to 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't want to, but I'm like, no, one's good.
Good.
Yeah.
You
Good.
sit and enjoy it.
Oh gosh, who doesn't enjoy a Dove just slowly melting in your mouth? And
That's what I wanted to know. Perfect.
So that kind of brings up a point. I don't know, Sam, I know you work from home, and Marta, you're in school. I don't know, Natalia, if you have work meetings. I know Cheryl does, and I know that they have Dove chocolate and M&Ms, and it probably looks like this slide right now on your Yeah, on your desk, right? Not your desk, but like when you have a conference meeting. And it's there all the time, you know, and like having to, and that is the definition. I know I was a teacher. For teachers, definition of board meeting was that little bowl of food sitting there. You're 3 o'clock, you're tired, you need a pick me up, and you go and grab for that. And that I know is the hardest part. So maybe it's not even your closet, but maybe this is what you see at work. So then just being prepared and having that snack, that healthy snack option. If everybody else is eating, they're going to think everyone thought I was weird when I was teaching. I had my own snack. I had an apple, a little bit of peanut butter. I took a smoothie. Some days they told me my smoothie looked disgusting. I mean, they're so judgmental on my food. They were. I'm like, I don't care. I'm confident in my body and you're eating that. And I bet I feel better about it. You know, so there is no shame in bringing your own food options that are healthier, because I'm sure that you are tempted with a lot of this a lot. So really the only takeaway from this is, we talked about it last week, is you're reading your nutrition labels and trying not to fall into that low sugar whole grains. It doesn't always mean it's really healthy. So pretty much what we talked about last week, you want to be having those good healthy options in your closet. Okay. So this is some balanced snack ideas that you could write down if you would like, or we can send this to you also. Hard-boiled eggs are always a great option. I talked with one of my nutrition clients this morning about rice cakes and hummus on them, and it sounds gross, but it's good. It's a great healthy snack option, maybe with a little turkey on it, or a rice cake with some peanut butter and a little banana. I don't know if you guys have ever gotten into rice cakes. My husband always calls them cardboard. But it's a low calorie food option that's going to hold something instead of bread or a pita or a wrap or something like that. It's a good option to go for. Beef jerky, turkey jerky, they have at Costco. Really good option, lower calorie option than the beef jerky if you go for turkey. And I have always liked turkey roll-ups, slices of turkey, a piece of Swiss cheese with a little avocado in the middle of it is a really good balanced snack too.
Have you guys been doing your balanced snacks since it's your mini challenge this week? Making sure you have protein in your snack?
Natalia. Oh,
I can always have a protein in my snack.
So protein, quick, easy protein. This is from Aldi's. It's beef jerky. It's as clean. It's beef, natural smoke flavor, vinegar, salt, raisin juice, concentrate, and spices. So it's a pretty good, clean option. So it's a really easy way to put some protein into your snack. Not the whole bag.
That's the hard thing with jerky.
Actually, this is 2 servings, so that's pretty good.
It's a great snack. Grab an apple, get those carbs. It's perfect. So yeah, and we can always talk to you about snack options too. And there's a lot of good snack options on the recipes under CrossFit Cleveland, like protein balls and stuff like that you can make too. To be honest, some of them taste like desserts. So you can have that as a healthy dessert option too. All right. Number 3, and we get the fact that all of these are super straightforward. We don't have this like miraculous, most amazing change of what's going to happen. These are just simple lifestyle changes that they have to happen. There's no excuses for them. It's just like, this is what you're going to do in order to get that weight loss. So changing up your routine. So I eat in front of the TV when I eat dinner. It's terrible. I do it. It is not good. I am eating. I'm not enjoying my food. I'm starving. So I'm like, I want to get that food in my body. I don't really care. But I do know that I'm going to stop at 1 plate. I'm not going to really go back for more. So that is what's bad for me. So just letting you guys know that we all have bad habits. Okay. I'm a nutrition coach and I still have really bad habits. So no, it's something that I know I need to work on. But if you're eating without distraction, you're going to eat be so much more aware of your hunger cues and knowing at what point you're full. And maybe you don't need that extra food. You don't have to eat your whole plate. Maybe if you take 15 bites, or if you notice how many bites you take. I can remember as a kid, my mom took my sisters and I to Pizza Hut, and she made it a challenge. She's like, who can chew the most amount of times before you? My mom was like ahead of it before her time. She made us like count how many times we could chew our pizza before it went down. I mean, I never won because I was hungry, but like it's really digested then, and which is actually really good. If you don't want big chunks of food, you want to slowly be eating what you're digesting. So count maybe 15 bites before you swallow your food, and know that it takes 15 minutes for your brain to catch up to your stomach. So knowing your brain is behind, or is it your stomach or it's your brain?
Your stomach's behind. No, your brain is behind your stomach.
Your brain is behind your stomach. So you keep eating, thinking that you're not full still, but then your stomach, then you get to the point where you're overly full. And we talked about these hunger cues. You don't want to be over a 7 or an 8. Like you want to end your meal. I'm good. I could maybe have a little bit more, but I know in 15 minutes I'll be more full. Okay. One of my clients I talked with this morning, she was like, I had potatoes on my plate. I didn't need them, but they were there. And so I ate them. And she's like, I wasn't even craving them, but I just ate them just to eat them. And so maybe there's times where like, you were like, I don't need this tonight. I really don't need this starch. And so just like have that awareness. But if you're eating in front of your computer while you're at work, or if you're eating in front of the TV, or if you're eating while you're on the phone, you're not going to be thinking about any of that. You're just going to be thinking about this and not the food that you're consuming. I'm really bad with it. I'm really, really bad with like, I got my phone or I got my computer or something in front of me. So that's definitely something I can work on. But really it comes down to time that you're spending for yourself. So maybe set an alarm clock or block it off on your schedule for people that's like, this is 30 minutes. This is my time. Like I deserve to eat this and eat it, and then check your Instagram. But really like enjoy the food that you're consuming. Okay. All right. Moving on to those hunger cues in that awareness. So strategy.
We gave you guys a printout that was similar to this in your folders. If you remember those hunger cues, you should have all had gotten something that was similar to this already. We can always give you this too, but sorry, Courtney.
No, that's totally fine. Yeah. So 10, has anybody been a 10? I was a 10. I left my parents' house 2 weekends ago. Oh my gosh. I was so uncomfortable. It is the worst feeling ever. Has anyone been there recently?
Before this started, my mom and I went to Rocky River Brewing Company and we got wings and a burger, and I ate it all and I felt so sick. The next day I still felt sick. I was so full.
Yeah.
So it was way too much.
Yeah.
But their fries are so good.
I haven't actually ever eaten there before. I need to go.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. Marta, did you too? Have you been at a 10?
Yeah, so I'm recently gluten intolerant, and so anytime I eat gluten now, I'm like rolling on the floor, like borderline throwing up, and I just eat a lot and I don't need to.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's the worst. It's the worst. So we'll just pretend like Stacey, Cheryl, and Sam are perfect and haven't been so full.
Oh, you said recently. I haven't recently, but I surely have been a 10 many of times in my life.
I'm proud of you. That's good. And you were even seeing your daughter this weekend, so that's really good.
Yeah, I can stop.
I love it. Yes. So number 9 is Thanksgiving Day full, which could be a 10 for me, but they put it as Thanksgiving.
Actually, when my grandma gave me those 10 cookies, I think I felt like that.
Oh, yeah. And he logged those 10 cookies. I'm like, Sam, were you eating 10 cookies? What's that? He's like, they're the little ones, I promise.
Well, good for you for logging.
He didn't lie. So 8, you're uncomfortably full, but you're like, you feel good, you're leaving the restaurant, you're a little distended in your stomach. So that's an 8. 7, you're satisfied but not stuffed. You feel full, but you're not physically uncomfortable. 6 is you're filling up, but you're not full. Stomach's no longer empty. It's starting to feel more full, but you still desire food. Neutral is 5. 4, you're thinking about food. 3, stomach feels empty, but not uncomfortably so. Maybe a little bit of gnawing. 2 is uncomfortable, hangry, starting to get dizzy or shaky. And 1 is very uncomfortable. So we know you never want to get to 1, or you never want to get to 2, and maybe not even, you need to start eating once you're at a 3. So you want to gauge your fullness level, or you want to gauge your hunger before you start eating. Get an idea of how hungry you really are. First off, if you're at a 6, you probably don't need to eat. Again, my nutrition client this morning, she's like, I have 2 snacks as part of my routine. It's part of my day, so I do it. I'm like, she's like, I wasn't hungry for the one the other day, but I still just did it. If she was a 6, I would have said, you probably don't need to eat that snack. You don't need it. Just last till the next meal. So have that awareness about where you're at before eating, as well as after and during. If you are at a 6, you could probably stop eating knowing you're going to get to that full or satisfied feeling after that 15 minutes is up.
What about like with like meals, like if we're like at a 6 and it's like, 12 o'clock or like time for lunch, like we feel like we're like not gonna be hungry until dinner. Like, is it okay to skip that, or should you still like eat lunch?
No, I would imagine sometime between that 12 and the 6 that you're going to drop down from that 6. So
Right.
at some point you'll probably be at a 4, and you're going to want to then eat at that point.
Sam, something that I've recently tried to start incorporating, because I'm notorious for getting hangry, but if I'm at a 6, rather than eating that whole meal, this goes back to what Courtney was just saying, just have some of it, because then if there's some left over and for some reason, if you push your food off too long, then you're going to interfere with your dinner and it's going to interfere with everything else. But if you just say, like, yeah, I'm not really overly hungry, but I know I need to eat some of it. You don't have to eat it all. Have some of it. And then for some reason, if you're hungry and you're going to your dinner, you're getting to that, like, I'm 4 or 5, but I still have 2 hours before dinner. You have a snack already. It's just right there. So you can finish it later or not, but you don't have to eat. I know a lot of us were probably, if it's on your plate, you have to eat it. That's not true. You can have a little bit and not have to have the whole thing.
A couple months ago, I don't know, Sam, you may have seen this, but I sent like half an apple and half a Quest bar, and I asked if anybody could do that. Can you eat half an apple and half of a granola bar? And Stacy said no. She's like, I could never do that. And that is something that I can do. I can be like, all right, this is how hungry I am. I know this is going to sustain me, so I'm just going to eat half of this, half of that. And I know, again, in an hour, if I'm hungry again, I'll eat it then. But a lot of times I'm not. So you, like Stacy said, you don't have to eat that whole meal. You also don't have to eat that whole granola bar. Whatever's in that package, you don't have to eat the whole part of it.
Eat a half an apple.
Yeah. So you can try to incorporate this into your meals. If you're doing mindful eating, you're eating with someone, or if you're eating alone, you can still say it out loud, and you can be like, I am certain that if my husband was like, what's your fullness level at right now? And I'm like 3/4 of my way full, and I was 3/4 of the way done with my meal, I would probably be like, I'm a 6. And just him saying that could probably stop me from eating, and knowing that I don't need to eat the rest of it. So you could try that at home and see if that'll be something, because sometimes maybe you're not thinking about that, but if you have someone else incorporated into that, trying to help remind you of it, you can try that out. All right. Number 5, and hey, Cheryl, if you have to log off, just log off.
I have to go in a minute. Yeah, I'm looking at the time, so.
Totally fine. The last one is mindful stress management. Good to see you if you log off. So terrible with stress management. I'm like not one to sit here and talk to you guys about dealing with it. I am not always the best at it. And I know that this is a large part of why we go for food, or To me, I've had unhealthy exercise habits too. Why I go to exercise for stress management too. So anytime you're using something and abusing it to handle your stress, it's not a good way of dealing with that stress. What we want to do is we want to just be aware of the situation that we're in when we are stressed out, take note and practice these mindful cues, which is stop. So again, I know this stuff is obvious, and I know if I was sitting in your seat, I would be like, I hear you, but I don't know that I'm actually going to do this. This is the only way that's going to get you to more success though. Okay. So if you think about stopping for mindful stress management, slow down, take a breath, observe what you're feeling in your body. What are you thinking about? What other possibilities exist? Are you pissed off at the person in front of you, or are you pissed off at the person that cut you off on the road? Is there a way that you can remove yourself from this situation? If you're driving down the road and someone in front of you is an idiot, can you go over 2 lanes so you're no longer having to have that person deal with you? And then you move over 2 lanes and you're like, I took control of that situation. I'm not gonna let that bother the rest of my day. I couldn't find my keys the other week when I was having to coach, and I showed up like right on time. 4:30, finally found my keys, show up at 4:30, Bill's there. I'm like, I'm about to get evaluated. I am like all over the place right now. Are you serious? Who cares, right? I can't be mad about the fact that I couldn't find my keys, that I hit 4 red lights. I needed to just turn it around and have a good attitude, because people are paying to come to that gym and I want them to have a good experience, so that's just what I had to do. I had to stop, calm down. All right, what's the important thing here? I found my keys. I got here on time. Okay, now I'm just going to try to make this as enjoyable of an experience as possible and not wallow in my frustration and my being upset. That's not doing anything for anybody. So observe what's going on, what pissed you off, why are you upset, and then just kind of try to move forward, thinking about the different ways that you can try to get out of this situation, and not food. Not grabbing food to help handle it. Okay. Stacey, any comments to say on that?
She did really well on her evaluation. That was not a fake story. That was a true story. No.
True story. Yep.
No, but back to like, when we're eating and you're like feeling like, I'm at a 6, I'm really, you know what, I'm not starving anymore. Maybe sit back, and if you're eating with somebody, sit back and just sit back and have some water and talk to them, and like put your fork down, and then you might even realize like, I'm really done. And maybe you're not done. And if you're by yourself, if you're eating by yourself, maybe at that point too, put your fork down and maybe like gaze out the window, like do something, enjoy a glass of water with that meal. And so that maybe you realize, oh, I really am done. I don't need to eat everything on my plate. Or in a couple minutes, you realize, you know what, I got a little room in that tank and I'm going to fill it. But being mindful of, am I full? Am I not? Do I think I'm full? But I'm really, like just having an awareness of that. So stop in that meal, talk to yourself, talk to your partner, whatever, but slow it down. You don't have to eat that whole meal that's when you get to that 10. So don't get to that 10, get to that 6 to 8 and evaluate.
And it's easy to go from a 1 to a 10. So never get to a 1. I have gone from a 1 to a 10 so many times in my life.
Yeah.
So bad. Because I used to think that only 3 meals a day was good. I didn't think snacking was good. I would be to the point where I couldn't even think. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to make it to dinner and I'll eat whatever I need to at dinner. That makes no sense. I actually, in my head, I think like, if you eat a little bit, it'll get you a little ways. If you eat a little bit again, it'll get you a little ways. Like those little snacks, and then I think, okay, so if I eat, and this is just my head, if I eat 1,700 calories in one meal, and I really only needed 600 calories, I'm like, all of that excess just goes into my body. It doesn't work that fast. I think it does. Okay. But I'm like, okay, so if I eat a little snack, that's going to get me another couple hours, and then I'll eat and that's all my body needed. It did what it needed. It's sustaining life. So then again, in a couple hours, I'll eat a little bit and do the same thing. So then those small snacks are going to continue on. But if you eat a big meal in one sitting, you're gonna, no doubt, you're eating extra calories that your body doesn't need, which is just storing. But I am of the mindset that like I eat something bad, like a minute later, I look like I gained weight or something. I was like, it doesn't work like that. He's had to tell me that so many times that it just doesn't work like that. But I do think if you think that little foods is going to get you, so if you eat a small portion, that's going to get you continue throughout the day. But whenever you eat, if you're going to eat in excess, that's just extra calories that you don't need. And those extra calories, again, we know 3,000 extra calories in a day is when you gain a pound.
And Courtney brought it up earlier too, and it was a really good point though. You know, if you're one who's having 3 meals and 1 snack, say you're having breakfast, lunch, snack, and then dinner, and you get to that snack time and you're not hungry, you don't need that snack. Don't put it in just because it's supposed to be there. Put it in because it's that tool to get you from not going to a 1 at dinner time. Don't just eat it because it's there. Be prepared that it's there if you need it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do any of you guys have questions about what we've talked about today, or want us to dig a little deeper into what we talked about today?
Sorry, I'm just going back on all of them.
Okay. Does it make sense? Does this make sense to you guys? Help you? I do have a question before I get to this, but like one of the things Courtney and I talked about this at length actually yesterday a little bit, about like I call it my witching hour is around 2 o'clock. I've had lunch. I'm usually getting ready to go onto my computer, probably stalling to do some of the computer work that I have to do. And I find myself looking in my cupboard. And I have found that a cup of hot tea works for me. Or if I'm a little bit tired, I'll use a Spark, which is a product. It's an Advocare product, which has a little bit of energy. So I have found that going to something that has like a hot tea will fill me up because I'm getting more water. It's flavorful, so there's like the flavor of a food. So it's not a food, but there's a flavor there, and that seems to help me over that witching hour. So it doesn't always have to be food. If you're bored, you can find something that's going to be satisfying to you, that's going to take up that mindful eating. And for me, I drink coffee, I drink tea, and it's a very hand to mouth thing. It's not potato chips, but it's still going the same way. It's I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down. I like the warmth of it in the summer. I mean, in the winter.
It was like, oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just an idea too. Do you have something to say, Courtney?
No, I was gonna, well, I guess I was. The nutrition, I told them that we were on a nutrition call with our mentors before this. And so, and we talked, I'm Stacy's nutrition coach. And so I probably after this, I'm probably going to go for a walk. I'm going to probably process everything that's been going on. And like, that's a good stress relief for me. Me and the dogs are out there. We're just doing our little walk. It doesn't need to be anything that long. So I have suggested to Stacy to go on a walk. It works for me, and I assume it should work for Stacy. Stacy hates the cold. Stacy doesn't want to go on a walk. And I'm like, what the heck? Go on your freaking walk. No, so she doesn't want to, right? So obviously I don't like tea. So Stacy's isn't going to work for me either. So you need to find what works for you. But our mentor was like, that's our job too, is to try to help you figure out what is going to help you, what will help you with that stress coping mechanism, or the boredom eating, what you can do to help. Maybe it's 10 squats, or maybe it's meditation for 2 minutes, or maybe it's doing 30 sit-ups, or chugging a glass of water. Yeah, your chest taps or something. There's, and I've talked with Sam about this too, like there's stress balls, different ways that you can help deal with stress. I know another one of my nutrition clients, she bought they have them at the gym. Also a little hexagonal, I don't know.
It's a little, You get them at Five Below.
Spearmint. I forget what all that's. And you roll it and it's 10 sit-ups or it's 20 mountain climbers or it's something like that. So you can squeeze it, you can throw it, you can do it, and then you can see if you feel better from that too. So it does take trial and error. And that's essentially what I'm trying to say with this with a mentor is she's like, what works for us is not probably always going to work for you guys. So you might just have to kind of figure out what does work for you.
And we want to help you figure that out. So
Yeah.
take advantage when we're meeting, or even not, send us a message like, hey, I'm really struggling with finding that. Why am I bored? That's what we're here for. Take advantage of us. Like, just do it. Dig in and let us know what you're struggling with, because we can't help you if we don't know what you're struggling with. So it's really important that you're open with us, and it's in a private message. Only Courtney and I are going to see it. So if you know, whatever it is, we can help you try to find that.
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
I do have a question, because you guys are, you're here, and I'm really glad you're here. And our mini challenge this week was to add protein to every meal that you're eating. And when I asked you guys, nobody was doing that. So I want to know why. Why are we not doing that?
I've been doing meals, but not snacks. I didn't know that we were supposed to do snacks too.
Yeah, always. So now that you know that, do you have something that you can incorporate into your snack?
Yeah. Or I'll have to go to Giant Eagle and get like turkey or something. But yeah, now that I know that.
Turkey, like I said, all these, half a bag is it's your protein. And Aldi's Grill. How about you, Martha? What's up?
Well, I just find it hard to find like good snack proteins. Like during meals, it's not really a problem, but like I eat as like my snack protein, I eat maybe almonds or like peanut butter, but I don't know. I'm a really picky eater, so I just like struggle finding good proteins.
Do you like hard-boiled eggs?
No, eggs don't go down well.
Okay.
Can you eat Greek yogurt?
Yeah, actually I think I have some. Well, I have a dairy-free cashew yogurt, but
Perfect.
Yeah.
Look and see
That with some nuts and berries. I have
Okay.
the page up right now.
okay.
Yeah. Look and see how much protein is in there. And
Okay.
you want 7 to 14 grams of protein is good.
Okay.
Natalia?
So, my mom and I were actually watching like Six Kids this past weekend. Parents went down for, birthday party in Columbus. And actually the lady that we watch, they're both doctors, and they have like keto stuff, or like they have all these really good snacks. So they had like, little, like not, I guess it was like a little beef jerky, like stick, like single package stuff. So like whenever my mom and I got hungry, we were like, okay, we'll just have one. And then they did have that stuff. So I kind of like felt like, we were focusing on the kids and stuff, that I wasn't really watching what I was eating, but we actually were. We baked with them, and I am so happy that like we didn't eat any of their, like they made cupcakes and stuff. We didn't eat any of that. And they had like a keto pancake thing. So I tried it, kind of was weird. I wasn't a fan. But like she just had like all these healthy like snacks and stuff too. So we were actually like doing fine. It's just, I think we were like mainly focused on the kids, because they had pizza, they had chicken nuggets. We tried even like doing for them, like we cut up celeries, apples, and like added stuff for them too, to eat like healthy stuff too. But yeah, so it kind of was hectic because of that, because we were like driving them to basketball and all these different things. But we still stayed true to it. So yesterday we finally went shopping because we had nothing. So I don't know. I still feel like we needed to plan things out and figure everything out, because we didn't get a meal prep because we were gone. So so we just have to now get it back into our house. Though thankfully there's nothing in our house, because we cleared everything out.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we ate anything bad at our house yesterday. So which was good.
Two things. Yeah. One, sorry, Stacey.
Go ahead.
One, that's awesome. That's huge. Like to be resisting like cupcakes, pizza, all of that stuff, like that is really difficult. So you should be really proud of yourself. But what you could do in the future, knowing that you're probably, well, first off, try not to let your fridge get empty. But Stacey's talked about this in the past, is actually freezing meals, freezing meal prep
Oh.
meals. So then you're like, okay, they're not going to go bad. Because if you make them on Monday and you know you're not going to eat them for a week and a half until Wednesday or whatever, throw it in the freezer and then you still have that. So it does turn into that prep one step farther than a prepper. So you like prep for 1 week, but then to have to think about prep for the next week too. But that is where you'll really be setting up for success. So that's always an option. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So-
to tell you what I sometimes do when my freezer is low. So every week when I prep, I might take 1 or 2 portions and put them in the freezer. And then the following week, I'll take 1 or 2 because I switch up my food. And then I have a variety in my freezer, not too much. Once there's 4 meals or 6 meals in there, but then you have a variety too.
Yeah, yeah. We just were like so tired Sunday that we were like, we're just gonna crash.
I believe
So when
that.
are
Yeah.
you meal prepping?
It's supposed to be Sundays. So today or yesterday, we went to the store, even it was like storming. We went to the store and we got some stuff.
Good.
So we have not to last us the whole week, but at least, you know, something for right now. Cause we made like pasta last night with the chickpea and lentil noodles. So not that bad. And we found I think it was Ragu had the like simply no added stuff in it. So we did that, and then turkey, ground turkey and mushrooms, onions, kind of a mix.
Perfect.
Love it. Good job.
So it's gonna last us like today, tomorrow maybe, but we have to go for the next stuff. We have to make the other stuff. We were just too tired yesterday too afterwards too. So
Oh, 6 kids. Whew.
yes.
On another bright note, Natalia, we haven't announced it yet, but you and your mom were our winners last week. So we have prizes for you.
Yay. Yeah, I did. We didn't do the tracking thing yet either. You messaged that too. I didn't have their Wi-Fi, so I did have data, but like because we were doing so much with the kids and everything, I have not gotten a chance to sit down and do those stuff too.
Yeah.
We're going to take back the prize.
Oh no.
You no longer get the prize. No, I'm just kidding. That's fine. Whenever you can get it. I just have this like continuous Excel sheet. So it helps me if I can
Oh,
do it
okay.
each day, but it's just going to be like one continuous sheet of like everybody's score at the end. So yeah.
Okay.
Marta, a quick, just because it's on the screen too, what about a rice cake with a little bit of turkey and hummus? Is that something?
Yeah, I
No.
love rice cakes, but I don't really eat like turkey or like processed meat really. I don't know.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's okay. Maybe we can talk about finding some other protein sources that are going to be good for you. And one of the things, and I'm not like, this is a stepping stone. I wouldn't make it necessarily like always, but I use a pea protein drink. And so maybe supplementing with a pea protein drink, because it's better than nothing. It's obviously not real food, but it's an option.
Yeah, I've never really tried like protein, like any protein powders or protein drinks or anything. I don't know, I've just never tried them.
Yeah, this one's called Orgain. Well, I'll have a jar there tomorrow for you to see. But
Okay.
maybe that's an option. Again, it's not a whole food, but we're stepping in the right direction by making sure you're getting your protein in, because it's so important.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions?
Crickets.
Cricket.
As you guys know, always let us know. Hopefully you got something out of this today. We always appreciate you guys signing on and participating.
I'm going to actually, since Courtney and I did talk to this a little bit about this too yesterday, is that we noticed you guys are doing really good, but is there something that would be more beneficial for getting you to participate in the app? I'm just bending your ear. I just throwing it all out there. So there's some participation, but we would like all participation. So is there something that we could be doing to help you be more engaged? You are totally sick of computers and you're trying to keep your phones down. Like, help us out here. What's going on?
Well, let me preface with the fact that I don't think it's necessarily you guys.
No.
but probably maybe not as much even Italian Marta, but Sam's partner, your guys' partners, or, you know, there's people. So I guess the question maybe isn't like, I guess it's just like, is it too much? I mean, maybe we're doing too much. Is it like, all right, you know, we don't want these mini challenges every week. It's like one extra thing that you have to be doing. What's
You're the lucky recipients to being here that we get to ask you these questions. So we're not meaning to put you on the spot that it's you. We're just wanting to know. Sorry.
yeah. Go ahead, Marta.
I personally like challenges, and they make me like think about the app during the week. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I have to like get a picture or something for the app. So then I think about going into it. But I don't know about the regular stuff. At least for me and my sister, it's like, I don't know what it is, but we're just like intimidated sometimes to like send stuff in. And I know we shouldn't be, but like, we're like, every time we send a picture, we like sit there and we're like, oh, okay, send it.
Aw.
Do it.
Look
So
at
you're
these
fine.
nice people on this call.
I
Natalia
know.
and would never, ever,
I know.
literally.
It's like that way when we like post on social media too. Like it's just like
Yeah,
a thing.
I know. That's a good point though. Maybe people are nervous. Maybe people are nervous, scared they're going to be judged, something like that. Good point.
We're your safe zone.
Yeah. Natalia?
I was gonna say, like, for my mom, it just gets her used to certain things, and then we were just busy the last few days, so like I wasn't really like, I would get the notifications and I kind of would like skim through it, but the one boy just really wanted to play with our phones, so we kind of had to hide it sometimes. So yeah, we just didn't get a jump back on it this weekend, but yes, sometimes it takes my mom a little bit to figure stuff out, so I help her out as much as I can.
Good to know. Good. Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Sam? Sam's the one that gave us all the feedback on our first nutrition challenge.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Marta. Like the group part can be like a little bit like nervous, like posting there, or intimidating, whatever. You know, you don't want to be like blowing up people's phones who maybe you haven't met before or whatever. So it's like just like with like pictures of your plate or whatever.
Good point.
All right.
Good.
Good.
See, you didn't bite your head off on giving us some constructive feedback.
It's good. It's good.
I'll go yell at Fergus after this call.
Yes, that's what we were really getting at. No.
Awesome.
All right.
Questions?
I do like seeing pictures on there. I'm a very visual person, so like if I would go to a restaurant or something, I will most likely pick a pictured item because I just like seeing it. So like seeing some of the food, I'm like, oh, why don't we do something like that too?
Nice.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Good.
Maybe if you're comfortable, if you could say, hey guys, I've really enjoyed seeing some of the food that you've sent. If you don't mind sending some new recipe ideas that you have, like my mom and I are trying to find some new recipes or something like that. And maybe that'll get the ball rolling, because I do feel like it's a lot. It's like, all right, here's Stacey and Courtney again. Here's Stacey and Courtney again. So if you guys don't mind trying to like input on that feed, and then it's like, oh, this is another participant that's saying this too. Maybe I can, I don't know, try that if you don't mind.
I could do it.
Thank you. Cool.
And Marta, do you feel confident you can do that?
Yeah, I can. It helps with when Marin's home, and then I'll just like bounce it off of her before I send it in. So I
Good.
feel good about it.
Good. All right. Sam, you feel confident you can help us out?
Yeah, I've been making like the same thing for dinner every day pretty much. So I had to mix up my recipe and send in a picture first because I want to keep sending something.
You know what you should do is you should send in the Greek yogurt dressing that you sent me.
Oh yeah, there you go. I could do that.
Something like, anyone seen this before? This is a lot better than a ranch option. Something like that. Yeah.
Perfect.
I
All
do
right,
like that.
guys. What's that?
So I do like that dressing. It's good.
Yeah, it's addicting, right? All right.
Awesome. Cool.
All right.
We'll see some of you soon. Natalia, let's figure out how I'm going to get you your prizes.
Okay.
All right. Good.
We could always stop by whenever too.
we'll have dinner and a drink.
There you go.
Healthy drinks, healthy dinner.
Right.
Yes.
All right,
All right, guys, have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.